Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're a regular here, you will know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Today isn't a review as such, it's more of why I am not going to be selling my Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II. And I think that might be one of the failings of Olympus, is the naming of their products. But anyway, yeah, I purchased the OMD EM1 Mark II a couple of years ago. I love the camera, and it's this camera here actually, and it is a fabulous camera. You can actually now pick it up. I've seen it on eBay, used ones and ex-demo ones, anything from 600 quid upwards, sort of 600, 780, you know, 800 pounds. What a fantastic price for such a fabulous piece of kit. Now, we all know in the last couple of weeks, or if you're into video or you're into photography and you look at YouTube reviews, you know Olympus have sold or are planning to sell their imaging division, and they're planning to sell it to a company called JIP, Japanese Industrial Partners. We have no idea. We can only speculate what they're going to do with it. We really don't know. So I'm not even going to go down the road of speculation and all the rest of it, because we don't know. It may be positive, may not be. But what is positive is what you can get for your money by buying a used or even new, but preferably used, Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II here in 2020. And I'm going to actually go through, hopefully briefly, why I'm not selling it, and why I think it represents amazing value for money if you've got a tight budget. Now, it's micro four thirds. Now, a lot of you will be thinking micro four thirds is on its way out. I completely disagree with that. Panasonic have been supporting it for many years, obviously the same as Olympus. Blackmagic use micro four thirds sensors, and I think many other companies, or several other companies, do as well. Now, we know for photography, the big downside of micro four thirds is high ISO in low light. So I accept that. But if you're doing professional photography and you're and you're lighting the subject, then the Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II is great. You don't have to worry about the fact it's a smaller sensor. What I will do, I'll put on my Flickr page a link to various photographs I've taken with my OMD EM1. I'm just going to call it the EM1 Mark II. I don't know what I'm going to call it. It's a nightmare, the naming. But here it is. This is the OMD EM1 Mark II. I say it quicker. And it is a pro body. It's weather sealed. It has the two memory card slots, but only UHS 1. So that's because this camera dates back to 2016. It actually was launched in December of 2016. So it's coming up to 4 years old, but it takes two UHS 1 or UHS 2 cards in the slots there, so you've got redundancy if you're a pro photographer, so that is good. It's got your various ports on the side here, USB ports. You can't charge it and use it through USB. Again, bit of a downside, but yeah, it's not drastic, is it? You know, it's not a drastic thing. You've also got your mic and headphone jack on the side there. With these, weather resistant. I say it's weather sealed. I think it's more weather resistant than weather sealed. And Olympus, even way back in 2016, incorporated the articulating screen. And how good is that? A proper articulating screen. So if you are doing selfies or you're filming yourself, I'm always filming myself. I'm the only person here. So it's great to have cameras that have a screen that tilt back towards you. So yeah, it's got the tilty-wilty screen, so you can actually angle it if you're doing low angle shots, high angle shots, whatever, like that. Brilliant. And it's got all the manual functions. It's got two on the front here, two function buttons on the front. It's got your mode dial and all the other functions on the top that you would find on today's professional cameras. You've got no end of functions on the back here, a four-way pad. It hasn't got a focus joystick, which, some of the newer, well, a lot of the newer cameras have got that. It's still quick and easy to focus, simply because you can use either use the touchpad. It's a full touchpad integrated screen, so you can either move your finger while you're looking through the viewfinder, particularly if it's back up. If you've got it folded back, then you can hold it to your eye and you can move a focus point by moving your thumb around on the screen, and that works a treat. That works no problem at all. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way, hit the button in here, and then you can move your focus point around. Don't know if you can see that, but you hold that button in, or push that button in, you can see, whoops, it's very difficult doing this. And then you can move the, using the four-way pad. So, you know, there are workarounds, and they're very good workarounds. They're not, you know, like, oh, if I have to do it that way. They really are very good workarounds. It's a great, great body. The mode dial on the top is lockable as well, so you can lock that position, which is, again, awesome. So, you know, so you're not going to accidentally knock it. And as I said earlier, the images that come off this sensor are superb. It's a 20 megapixel sensor, micro four thirds sensor. So as long as you're not in really, really low light, the OMD EM1 Mark II will print A3 and higher without any issues whatsoever. I've done it, so I know. And as far as handling, it's my favourite camera. Now, I've used lots of cameras. I've got the Nikon Z6s somewhere around here. Oh, they're over there. Which I've actually, let me get one. Let me grab one. The Nikon Z6 is also a great, great camera. That has got really, really nice handling, but it's full frame, so, you know, but look at the size of the lenses, look at the size of the body. You know, if you're doing, I don't know how easy that is to see on that monitor, probably not very easy, but the Z6 is a heavier, it's a bulkier camera, and that's pretty compact for a full frame camera, where the Olympus is compact. I mean, that is really, really compact. Battery life is pretty good. I just really love picking this camera up because the grip is beautiful. I've walked around all day using this camera without any issue whatsoever. And it's got this really useful dual switch on the back here for switching, and it doubles up, so each function button can do different things. I've got mine set up for photographs on the top, and for video if I flick it down. So, you know, a multi-purpose camera, very, very good, and great value for money. So that's the predominant reason why I'm not selling my OMD EM1 Mark II, because of its compact size, its flexibility, and great image quality, even in 2020. Now, here's an example that Micro Four Thirds excels at, absolutely excels at. If you're a traveller, you're doing hiking, you know, or just a lot of travelling, there's nothing worse than lugging around even mirrorless cameras, heavy mirrorless cameras like this. Because this camera has a Micro Four Thirds sensor, the lenses are a lot more compact. As an example, I've got the Panasonic 7-14 lens fitted to here, which is basically 14-28 in full frame terms. It's not a direct science like that, but it's pretty close to that. That's equivalent to 14-28, and that is so compact. And you've got 5-axis image stabilization in the body of this camera. So even though this lens hasn't got image stabilization, the body has. So you can go right down to slow shutter speeds and get great images with a Micro Four Thirds sensor. That's brilliant if you're traveling. But what's even more interesting, if you put on, let's say I whack on this lens. Now this lens is the Panasonic 100-300, which is, in full frame terms, let's put that body cap back on. In full frame terms, equivalent to 200-600. 200-600. You wouldn't dream of using that handheld on a full frame or even APS-C body, and the lens is going to be at least twice the size. Admittedly, this is f4, but it you know, it does trombone, you know, quite a bit, but I can take handheld images with this lens, and that's no word of a lie, probably down to about 125th, 150th of a second, and get sharp images from this lens. So it's a great travel lens if you're doing wildlife, or you're doing, well, predominantly wildlife, what a great lens to fit to your Micro Four Thirds body if you're going out and about. So that and that, one small kit bag, and you get great results. You wouldn't do that with APS-C. So that's another reason why I'm not selling my Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II. It's great kit. I know there are going to be concerns from people, well, the camera will devalue. Well, so what if it does? I don't think they will, but so what if it does? I'm not worried about that. I don't give a hoot. As long as it's still producing the images that I want to produce and the video that I want to produce, then I don't really care. And also, as far as repairs are concerned, again, people will be concerned, are you still going to be able to get it repaired? Even if in 3 or 4 years' time Olympus stops supporting, their cameras over here, because obviously it'd be a different company, there's going to be as many independent repair companies that will be able to repair your camera for you. I don't have an issue with that. So, I think it's a great choice. And also, the 4K video that comes off this sensor is excellent, because the autofocus is so good. It's so damn good, particularly with version 3 firmware. So, I use this quite a bit for video. The only drawback with video as to why I don't use it on a regular basis is one thing, and that is it creates small files up to 4 gig. So if you're doing a 20-minute shoot, for sake of argument, 20-25 minutes, you might end up with 5 clips, and then you've got to combine them together in the edit suite. Just a bit more of a pain in the butt. Nothing major, but it's just more work. And that's why I stopped using it predominantly for video. But if I'm going out and about and I just want to get a few, 15-20 second cutaway shots, great tool. It will do interviews and all the longer stuff because, it can do, but you just have to put up with those clips that, that are longer. Micro Four Thirds is still an industry standard format. Panasonic, with the GH5 as an example, is still used by thousands of pro videographers around the world. So, don't be put off by Micro Four Thirds. It's a great format. Anyway, I've harped on enough about it being a great format. I ain't bothered what happens with Olympus or what JIP do with Olympus. I hope they do keep the brand moving forward, and I hope they do innovate and do what Olympus have been very successful at. Well, I say very successful, they can't have been very successful because they're selling the imaging division, but you know what I'm getting at, They've got some great technology and some great cameras. I love it. So I won't be selling my OMD EM1 Mark II because I just love using it. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found that useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button if you like the content. If you are a content creator and you need music for your video, it's well worth taking a look at Soundstripe, www.soundstripe.com. They're a great company and it's a great service. You pay a one-off subscription fee per year. It's actually a yearly subscription fee. And with that, you can download as much music as you need for your various videos. If you use my code AVP when you sign up, you'll get 10% off your subscription. So it's worth taking a look. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos relating to video and photography and some audio. Cheers for now. Bye.